50 years ago, America passed the 28th Amendment,
virtually enslaving anyone with special abilities into government service, or forcing them to live as ordinary citizens.
With his team disbanded,
America's foremost protector and hero for a century had been betrayed by the very institution he swore to serve. Erased from its history books, his every exploit was covered up. Now, in a place called Little Bighorn, the greatest hero America has forgotten will come out of retirement to take down the very institution he once served,
assembling a new team of superpowered individuals wielding abilities never before witnessed.
In a country that has banned its heroes, it's time to root for the criminals. Let's start a new revolution.
Psychically, I'm very well endowed.
I wanna know what you're thinking. There are some things you can't hide. I wanna know what you're feeling. Tell me what's on your mind.
Still muted. All right, we're out. Okay. StreamYards doesn't like to let go of that mute button sometimes. Anyway, looks like my internet's kind of balking out, so I'm going to go back do the icon thing. So, alrighty, let's see if that helps. Anyway, but not an icon is my first fanboy, evidently, Mr. Jared Brickley from Frost Comics.
Ta-da! That's right. I'm shilling the merch today, baby.
There you go. There you go. Tell about the bunny hat. There you go.
Where can you get this wonderful hat, by the way?
You can get it at the links in the description. You know, you can also get this one here.
Perfect.
There you go. Yeah.
This is the hat stream now.
Well, we got to be a hat stream because we're not a hate stream, right? There you go.
That's right. That's right. Only hats, no hate. That's how we roll.
No, only hats, no hate. All right. So I'm gonna have to turn it on just long enough to get this one done. But like I promised, we're gonna do a little bit of review at the beginning. This is a book that came across me several times. Every time I checked on FMC, I would see the cover. It is a pretty cool cover. And it's this one here, Silence Do Good. All right. Now, that caught my attention because Silence Do Good is to be the nom de plume of one Benjamin Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, that's a little obscure. So I checked it, and it's like, so evidently they're taking Benjamin Franklin and sticking him in taking him out of time and sticking him in an AI, like apparatus or something. But this is like the really iconic page. I think you posted this one. You know, it's just the
I've seen that one a few times.
Yeah, the composition, the drama, it's just a really cool.
The correct use of snow.
The correct use of snow. Yes.
Yeah.
Got this postscript says either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. That is from Poor Richard's Almanac, I believe. But it could be when he was writing under Silence Do Good, when he's writing, he's like 15 years old or something. But anyway, so the art is really interesting, really clever. I always love it when people go outside of the, outside of the panel and do something unique. And so the good is the art is very good. The character designs are really cool. The coloring, look at the coloring on that. Somebody, whoever did the coloring on this is just amazing. They're almost as good as Mika. Okay, almost.
Wow.
Which he's my gold standard. All right. So the good is those things. The art is awesome. The writing is very good. There's some very good dialogue in it, and now we're going to start getting into some sticking points for me. Sticking points is it ends awkwardly at like a really. I thought that this happened. This same thing happened with Battle Brick Road #1, where I thought they ended it like just a couple pages. They didn't end on a climax. They didn't end on a page-turning climax. They ended just like picked a moment and just went, and that's presupposing that I'm gonna get the second book.
Yeah.
But I've seen this happen a lot. Okay. And this is one of my pet peeves is that if you're going to write a book, make sure it has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And if it continues, you need a beginning and a middle and an end. And so I just felt like they didn't really end it like on a climax. They kind of just ended it when they ended it, and and so I was like, I turned the page and I'm like, they ended it. That's what they ended on, really, And so, that's happened to me a lot. That's happened to me several books. Some of them big ones that you have definitely heard of. It does have some art in the back, so you get to see the pencils. I think that's important these days. Let people know that this is not AI art.
Right. Yeah.
But AI couldn't do some of these things. Like this guy has actual, 5 fingers. So
yes, 5. Yeah, correct number of fingers. Yeah.
right. But that being said, my shortcomings aside, I'm going to do that. This is definitely a bunny recommend. I'd probably wait to book 2 and get the catch up tier. That'd be my recommendation. Because...
So Art, well, let me because I was actually on stream with Salty when he was first promoting this, and it was out. He was promoting around the same time we were promoting Out of Obscurity. So he did. I know that there's like a three book package or something because Indiegogo. I think he did like $11,000, $12,000, $15,000 for his project originally on Indiegogo. So there was like a hardback version that had issues 1, 2, and 3. So I know that he's got at least that planned out. But then he also offered the first book as like if it's a lower cost investment if you want to see if you like the art, if you like the story, that kind of thing. Right. And so I think he brought that to Fund My Comic, but I haven't looked at the campaign on Fund My Comic really closely. So is that the only thing on Fund My Comic right now?
That's the only thing I saw.
Okay, so that makes sense then. So now obviously you can't evaluate books 2 and 3 until you have books 2 and 3. And like you said, having issue 1, now issue 1 does have to stand on its own. Yeah. But I know that he has plans in place. Okay. And then your mileage may vary depending on how much faith you want to put in Salty.
Well, I did talk to someone who is on the second project, and they said it is currently being, it's currently in production right now. So
and that makes sense because I think that he hit the goal so comfortably with the first book that like issues 2 and 3 were like that was absolutely happening. So they are definitely coming out. There's no other like campaigns for it necessarily. And I think he was because I know he was talking to Luke Stone about the Fun My Comic one. I believe that he was going to do like a storefront mode. So like when issues come out, you know, boom, Fun My Comic, boom, Fun My Comic. So.
Well, which is something that Luke is really suggesting people go to where basically produce the comic and then make it a storefront and then, you know, advertise this is where it's located. You know? Which is kind of like the Iconic Comics.
Yes. Yeah.
Did some groundwork on that early on.
That works great for them.
Pure crowdfunding model to saying, okay. Yeah, obviously, it doesn't hurt to have some, you know, really heavy hitters over there. You know, like Arcathena. You know, just saying.
Exactly.
Never been into like the whole Common America thing, but it's huge. I mean, a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a little too cutesy pie, a little too anime inspired for me. But you know, we're talking about Silence Book. DoGood.
Yes. Right.
And on that. The art is great. The writing is very solid. Some really nice dialogue. Some of the characterizations, they had a girl boss, you know, who was kind of like better than everybody else around her. And just, you know, and all the males were like deferring to her, you know, and she was kicking the butt of somebody 2 or 3 times her size. I don't know if she has cybernetics, that's okay. But if she's a pure human, not going to happen. So,
yeah.
So that would be my other big hang up. Of course, I'd have to see the other, find out what her deal is, if she's got superpowers. If she's got superpowers, okay. In other words, if she doesn't have superpowers, give her superpowers or she's a girl boss. Okay? Just saying. Anyway. But, you know, it's just one of those moments. She came across as a little Ray Skywalker to me. Yeah, just saying. And so just saying.
Sure.
But other than that, I mean, I'm going to buy book 2. I'm definitely going to back book 2, and I'm going to give it this.
You there?
Unmute. All right, there we go. So I'm going to say 4 out of 6 carats. It's very solid beginning to a series. You know, for all my misgivings, I'm definitely back for book 2. It's definitely a bunny recommend.
Nice.
And, you know, if you don't mind the abrupt ending, I would suggest getting book 2. And because, you know, I honestly think that they just cut it off at a certain point.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot where people, they have like a series, you know, that's all just like chop it, you know, and so I'm going to go back to icon status because my internet's backing out. But while I'm doing that, bring on a certain gentleman from somewhere out west.
Pixel Trader, what's up,
Pixel
man?
Trader, welcome.
The man that always rolls with an icon.
Man of
Yeah, you know what's funny is
there
I was actually thinking about doing a.
Jared's going to be a little lonely here for a little bit.
I want to be
like
cool.
a 3D model of my head and like printing it out.
Yep.
That way I could do like an icon version mask kind of thing to wear like conventions and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Haven't quite got there yet though.
Right.
It's a cool idea
though. Yeah, I think the umbrella guy does something like that. You know.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Wokebreaker. Yep. No telepathic rabbit, no hair, no bunny. Yes, there you go. Welcome. And aloha, my frozen friend. All right. Anyway, well, Tennessee's about to get really hot, so it's going to be ironic very shortly.
I'm really excited about that.
Right on that median. Yeah. Right, waiting to be sticky and hot. I was walking earlier, and I was like, shower. Gonna have to take a shower here. Anyway, So today, today's topic. I should have brought this up. Let me go ahead. I thought I had shared it. Hold on. But today's topic is going to be. I did an experiment over the last few weeks, and now, I did a show earlier where I said basically that that I thought that building channels for dummies, I was like really heavily pushing shorts as a medium. Whoop! What did I do? What did I do? Hold on a sec. Add stage. Oh, come on. There we go. And he's back. And he's back. I'm sorry about that. Yep. No, he's gone again. All right. Did I double click it? What did I do? All right. There we go. All right. There we go. All right. Got it straightened out. Anyway, nice. So this is my channel dashboard for my channel. Okay. So let me get this up here. So basically right now I'm up to quickly. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. Let me get my analytics pulled up.
You got a community guideline strike?
All right.
I know about that. At least I think I do.
Now.
We lost it. What? Bunny's powering his internet through a hamster wheel.
Yeah.
You'd think that he would be using rabbit power.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Yeah, I'm serious. Yeah, makes a lot more sense. Anyway, so take a look. So 10,498 views in the last 20. Anyway, top content. I'm doing about per 122.9 hours, and let me slide over here. Content, the audience. And so, what did I do differently? I'm a small channel. I have very little growth. Potential when it comes to fan base. So, what did I do differently? Well, the secret of what I changed was in my content. I started doing some evergreen content. I started a series called Is It Good? And let me close this out. My internet's not going to handle it, evidently. All right.
It's fighting you.
Anyway, so let me get caught up. I'm fast right now, so there we go. All right, I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. The hamsters were, I think one of them broke a leg or something. Anyway, so brutal. Anyway, all new hamsters, even new hamsters. So basically, what I did differently is that's something they call evergreen content. Now, for the most part, I don't really do a lot of stuff that's like cultural relevance. I don't really chase the algorithm, hey, what's the algorithm talking about right now? I'll just check my feed. Oh, I think it's Black Girl Gamers is the big thing right now. That's what everybody's talking about, endlessly, nonstop. And the vote for Disney's coming up day after tomorrow, I think. And so everybody's endlessly talking about that. So that's
Yeah.
an algorithm right now.
I need to get my vote in, by the way.
Oh,
About that.
okay. Good deal. Of course, not going to ask you how you voted. Not going to ask you how you voted. You know,
I haven't
but
voted yet. I got to,
you know, if you,
gotta decide.
oh, you don't? Okay. Well, vote blue no matter who. That's all I got to say. Anyway. All right. See my internet will handle this. All right. Okay. So like me, I've got a small, I got a small audience. I've got some consistent people like Woke Breaker. I got like Jared. Jared will be in the chat a lot. And so I do have a bevy of people, pretty consistent, and I have some pretty consistent panelists and things like that. But the live streams really don't get you anywhere unless you're like tapping into a bigger fan base. Like Jared found out, when he had his little debate the other day. There's a lot of people that had some, I'll say some, they had sides. They had sides that they're rooting for. So we'll just say that much. And so you got a boost from that. Did it help your sub count any?
Yeah, actually, just before this debate itself, just from the publicity of BA talking about it, it shot me past the 300 mark. And then after Katie picked it up and restreamed the entire thing, EVS was in her chat. And then Niobe Comics EFAP'd the first half hour of it to tell Tim how stupid he was. But between those two, they also pushed me up to 317 now. So I got a pretty good boost, thanks to everybody.
Well, awesome. But what's up? What's up, Shadowpunk?
Hey, Shadowpunk. What's up, man?
Good to see you, man. Well, the issue is what are you going to do next time?
Yeah, I would love to do more debates. The problem is I can't find more debaters. So if you know anybody, let me know. Other than that,
evidently Garrett's looking for some master debaters.
Yes, always looking for master debaters.
There you go.
Especially like the because he's so newsworthy. Like I'm not gonna derail the stream, but because he's so newsworthy, I like the Ripa fans are always welcome on my show because there's no shortage of people. I know you will, Salty. I know you would debate. I know you debate him, but I need someone to debate you. That's the problem. I have a hard time finding people that want to come over on the other side. And I get why, because like it's difficult to thank you. Appreciate it, Salty. You got a good review, by the way. But the problem is that like they just like what they like. So they aren't really eager to like come defend it because they just want to, read the book. So it's like I can't really fault that. But if I don't have anyone that wants to come on and like, say, oh, hey, I this is why it's the best thing ever. The only person I've really found like that so far has been Tim. And now Tim is really mad at me because I don't know, he doesn't want to be my friend. I don't know.
Oh, I got you. Well, there you go. Appreciate it. I try to be fair here. 4 out of 6, man. Trust me, that's a really good median score for me.
Today we're not debating Shadowpunk. We're talking about a different topic. I just kind of went off on a tangent there. Bunny afforded me that because I bought one of his hats.
This is the other
day. He let me show.
Yeah. Right. Well, but the thing about it is you just have to keep going bigger and bigger and bigger, or you keep having to like, one of my biggest streams was I had on Martina Markova, also known as Lady Alchemy. Who is in her own right, has a Stan army like you wouldn't believe, and she does okay. But I had her on. I was one of the first people I was the first person that had her on in like a long time, because she's just coming off the lawsuit. And I actually had to go through a vetting process to get her on my stream. And
really,
it's still to this day one of the big, it's one of the biggest watch streams. But also had the ladies on, ladies of CG, most of the wives and people like that to talk about gender issues and things like that. And that was a pretty large one too. But then I realized I was like, I've got to keep doing this, and I got to keep like getting bigger and bigger, and bigger people, and chase cloud all the time. And I just realized that I don't have the energy for that. And and so there you go. Well, there you go. Me, pie, better than cake. All right, gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
I get that pie is. I think pie is better than cake, but what about cheesecake?
I was just thinking that. Where's that class? What like
Cheesecake.
is it cake or is it pie?
Mm-hmm.
I think it kind of rides both lines there. I would take a cheesecake over
Yeah.
either. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, a really good apple pie, it's hard to pass up.
Right.
That's a tough call.
Well,
pie,
yeah, but
okay.
she basically sees that as being part of alchemy, so it's a different branch. It's not necessarily Satanism, but and the pentangles are point up, not prong up. So,
look, hiring and working with and having Satanism in your comics is just all the rage right now. Okay, it's completely just the thing.
There you go. Cheesecake is pie. Okay, but it has cake in the name, right? Okay, so
you got a debate in the chat. Let's do it.
All right, back to the topic though.
Right.
Back to the topic. So what I did. What I did is I tend to watch a lot of things. I'm a bit of a pop culture sponge, so I watch a lot of things. And so the thought occurred to me, why don't I just answer the question, is it good? Is it good? Because that's bottom line. It's what people want to know. They don't really want detailed breakdowns and things like that. Most people just want to know, is it good or is it not good?
Yeah.
And I could do that in a short. And so I started that series. I started with the Chosen first season of Chosen, which was on Netflix. And, and then I went
Magnificent show.
Awesome show. I was a little dubious about it, but now I'm pretty much a believer now. Crust and filling, no cake. All right. Of course it does. Yep. Hamburgers have no ham, right? And I becomes E except for after C. Nothing makes sense. All good ones. The good ones have bacon. There you go.
There's the ham.
Hamburgers. You need bacon on hamburger. You need bacon on hamburger. Anyway. So yeah. Well, I'm just saying that Shadowpunk, possible satanic links aside, I had her on my show because I was really interested to talking to her about the travails that she went through to get her comic made. Mainly somebody claiming her her IP as their own, and so that I thought that was very pertinent to our situations here. Brand new IPs floating around in the ether. It's a little scary, and so I thought she'd be a good conversation to have. What she believes or what she doesn't believe, or i.e., was not really relevant to the conversation. But it is what it is. All right. But when I'm talking about, there you go. But, short content, is kind of like being pushed on the algorithm right now on YouTube. They're trying to compete with TikTok. And, so far Rumble hasn't come up with something like that yet. I think they're trying to acquire, some of TikTok for stateside. And so basically, so that's what's really been pushing the algorithm right now. But you have to hit it right. One of my experiments was, if I saw one of my shorts wasn't flying, I would go back and I would remove tags that my YouTube might not like. If I saw a tag YouTube might be not happy with, I removed the tag. And I had one that went from 8 views to over 300 in 2 days after I moved the wrong tag. Wow. Their wrong tag. And so it is what it is.
No, I've actually had very recently the same. Sort of
all right. So
when I cut out the that snippet from your stream to make like the little gag, I put that up as a short, and same thing. Like it was only like 18 seconds, but it got 400 or something views in a short amount of time, just because it's like you said, you have to kind of hit it the right way. So like everyone was talking about X-Men 97, so Rogue is in it, so it had like the right kind of set of things in there, and so it got 400 something views, which is more than I have subscribers. So obviously that particular one, like you said, it hit the algorithm just right, and there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Pixel.
No. I was just thinking, like, the X-Men 97 thing. I know a lot of people were speculating and kind of blowing stuff out of proportion before the show ever aired.
Right.
I'm actually really enjoying it, and I like Morph's character. I know they've done some funky stuff here and there, but the best part of that character so far for me has just been giving the cameos of all the off the wall characters just here and there. Like Magic was one of the last episodes I saw, and she's like one of my favorite X-Men characters ever. So getting that little glimpse of her in action was kind of cool. I think they've done pretty well with that series so far. But jumping on that bandwagon is awesome. I wish I could have done more with the Little Mermaid at the time when that was happening. I think I probably could have jumped my membership or my viewership or whatever, but I don't stream anymore, or hardly ever stream, so it probably didn't matter. We'll see. Wow.
Right. Well, plus Eric was willing to go on. Eric Hodson's willing to go on any show, anywhere, anytime. So that kind of helps a little bit.
Definitely.
I don't think Piper streams very much, but she's got a pretty big base.
Yeah. She started streaming
without some exposure. Yeah, she took a break. Hot dogs are obviously sandwiches. All right.
Are taco sandwiches? Are hot dog tacos?
Hill Satin. There you go. I don't know.
I don't either.
Bread, meat, condiments. How's it not a sandwich?
I think tacos are
technically.
Bread.
Seems like it would be, right?
Meat. Well, it depends. I mean, hard shell. Yeah, you're kind of crossed, but like a soft.
Maybe like soft shell, yeah, but then like not if it's.
Well, I think if one end is like enclosed.
I just asked the question, Salty. I don't answer them. I just asked them. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway.
Okay, so it has to be an open taco. So like a street taco. A street taco could be considered a sandwich because it's meat and cheese and condiments in a bread wrapper.
There you go. Tacos are tacos. What's wrong with you, Frost? Sorry.
No, tacos are not.
When did I lose control of this? When did I lose control?
Tortas are Mexican.
As soon as you started getting people really active in the chat, and then unfortunately I'm reading chat and Pixels in the chat.
It's my fault, for having it. It's my fault for having to stream around lunchtime or supper time. So
right, yeah.
Anyway, all right. So tacos are Mexican sandwiches. I don't know about that. Anyway, so but basically, I started doing some I also did some I have a series where I'm talking about people who like tortas. Okay, all right. But I did a series of people that that inspire me. Okay, like Wendy Penny and Wendy and Richard Penny. If you've ever heard of them, anybody? You guys know who that is? Okay. All right. Wendy happens to be the writer and the creator of ElfQuest.
Oh, I saw the short on that, but I couldn't place the name. Yes, I saw your short on it.
Yeah, it's and ElfQuest is actually the granddaddy of a lot of crowdfunding. They're one of the first books. Cerebus technically started before them, but they're the ones that took it to the next level and started having nationwide numbers, massive numbers that rivaled pretty much any mainstream creator or producer at that time. So they're the first really runaway hit. But that story, she was basically I just talking about the thing that really inspired me was the fact that when she created all this stuff, everybody thought she was nuts because anime and manga weren't big at that time. They were like very, 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 very niche. And so when people saw those big eyes and elfin features, they were like, "What is this crap?" And so she probably might be responsible for a lot of the manga that we see in America now. A lot of the acceptance of that style coming in. And then I did one on his name escapes me, but he's the guy that did Duck Magazine. Did the Duck comics for decades, and Disney wouldn't tell people his name, and so he was laboring, like in obscurity. And one of those comic books landed in the hand of the guy who's considered the godfather of manga in Japan, and inspired him, and inspired people like Eisner, and inspired people like George Lucas and Spielberg. It's the guy that created DuckTales, Duckburg, and that whole entire thing. And he did it completely, totally never went anywhere.
Carl Barks.
Carl Barks, yeah. And
and
he had no idea that. Yeah, he had no idea that he was the like inspiring all this movement in America, and he's like one of the most influential artists of the early 20th century. And he just thought he was doing stuff to throw away, and he didn't go anywhere. He just had National Geographic in his hand, and that's where he came up with his vistas, and he did nonlinear, he did outside of the box, he did splash pages that were both vertical and horizontal, and a lot of that stuff come from him. It wasn't Liefeld, it was this guy. Okay. Anyway, but completely in obscurity. And then finally one fan letter gets through, and he finds out, you are one of the most influential people in the 20th century. And he's like, what? But a happy story. In his 70s, he became a multimillionaire from people buying his paintings of ducks. So
it blows my mind too that there could be that disconnect from that segment of reality because of just how connected the world is now. But just looking back at our childhood, for most of us, no cell phones, internet was still kind of fledgling. That information wasn't there. So to just think about somebody toiling away doing that work and not thinking that it's really got any type of significant impact in the world for years.
Right.
I can't imagine coming back and then finding out that you've inspired so many people to become artists and animators and whatever else.
Yeah, it's incredible story. But it's stories like that I want to tell people that. But so I'm so that's what I'm doing. I'm just doing like it's is it good series, and I'm doing these like inspirational tales. But what it does is it basically is evergreen content, and I don't want to like chase things. I want to like discover things for myself and then help somebody else discover it. One of mine was one of my shorts was on a guy who is named Bert Monroe. He's from New Zealand. And he showed up at Bonneville with this old rickety motorcycle that he had been modifying in his garage for decades. It barely looked like the original motorcycle. And he had no safety features whatsoever. And, they had to be talked into letting him do this, but he managed to set a land speed record that still stands to this day. It's a movie called The World's Fastest Indian, and it's like, it sounds crazy that this happened, but it happened. Things like this happened. One of the ones I'm planning on doing coming up is a guy by the name of Desmond Doss. You ever see Hacksaw Ridge? The movie? Is that the Hacksaw Ridge?
Hey, Wookie.
Yeah, well, the Hacksaw Ridge is it's a story about a guy who's a conscientious objector, did not carry a rifle, but he managed to save hundreds of lives. Basically, when everybody else withdrew, he stayed behind on this ridge with a sheer rock face at the back, and he lowered people down all night long that were injured. He gave them first aid, and he would lower them down. And he did this completely by himself behind enemy lines at that time, and without a rifle. And some of the people he lowered down were Japanese. I mean, he lowered down everybody. But this guy did it all by himself, and his prayer the whole entire night long was, Lord, help me get one more. Just let me get one more. And he's the only conscientious objector that ever won the Medal of Honor. And it sounds, but see, there's stories like this all the time. Like, Audie Murphy, we talk about complete total badass, look up Audie Murphy. The guy was this tall,
Yeah.
But there's plenty of stories out there that I could tell, but one thing I'm learning about the short content though is that you have to be succinct, and you have to know what you're going to say, and you have to be punchy with it. You have to make sure all the points are there.
You got 60 seconds, right? So you have to make every one of those 60 seconds count.
Right. But also I have like the bunny thoughts where I'll just like, something will occur to me and I'll say it, like I did in one from the graveyard you referenced the other day. But or a local restaurant shut down. I was at with my parents, and so I talked about that, and I told about a story involving that restaurant. But the thing about it is people, what they're looking for is they're looking for inspiration. They're looking for authenticity. They're looking for humanity. Some kind of touch connection with humanity, and maybe I won't get any bigger than this, but I'm at this point, it's almost irrelevant. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, I think that you're
what you
right.
find, what you find it.
Well, it's just that I think that the people who are buying what we're selling, I think that is what they want. I think that there's a huge market for people who don't care, because what you kind of reference this in the description of the stream where you talk about TikTok shortened attention spans and everything. I think that TikTok has a wide audience and a very large audience because there are a lot of people who don't care, because there's a lot of stuff on that's just gags or just whatever kind of just empty bun content. But I think for the people that are buying Shadowpunk and buying Merkmaid and buying Silence Do Good and buying community service, I think that the people who are buying stories and who want stories and who are seeking out real stories instead of just going and watching whatever is on TV or whatever is at the theater, I think those people do want what you mentioned. I think that they do want authenticity, and they do want inspiration. They do want genuine people. So I think that market, I think that you are going to tap into that market for sure. But I think that the people that you wouldn't reach with it, I mean, you weren't going to reach anyway because of the nature of what you do,
Right. Well, one of the like Finn McKenty, you guys know who that is? He's
I don't. Should I? Who's that?
Well, he's a pretty big YouTuber right now. I think it's called Pop Culture MBA or something like that. But he gives tips for YouTubers basically that that he mistakes that he made, kind of avoid mistakes that I made. And one of the things that he really talks about is finding your niche and getting in it as soon as possible. Find out who you are, and so when people go to their channel, they know where to find it. They know what you are when they get there. And what's this one? I'm going to practice my sketches while I'm listening here. All right, Jay Cherry, no problem, dude. Welcome in, Wookie. Good to see you, dude. All right. But one of the things that I think is important is you know, not only be specific about the content, but also be specific about who you are.
Yeah.
You ever have a Professor of Rock? You ever watch him?
No.
Okay. Well, go down that rabbit hole. Trust me. But it's goofy guy. It's this big, tall, goofy guy. Wears. He's his chief advertisement is Zany Eyewear. Calls glasses, and he wears this like pork pie hat. And he's like trying to be the new Casey Kasem, and he's getting interviews with people you would not believe. But he is well over. I think he's over 1 million now subs.
He's real close, 975,000.
He just looks goofy, but and he's
he really does.
He's a little hyperbolic when he.
Yeah.
But he's a little hyperbolic, and he but he leans into it, I mean, his icon is like the glasses, he just leans into it.
Yeah, right.
But he's getting interviews with he got an interview with Ann Wilson that she doesn't do interviews anymore, but he got an interview with her because and when he gets on interviews with these people, these icons, of former years. He knows more about their stuff than they know. I mean, because he's like really goes down that rabbit hole, But think about it is people will always go back to his content because of him, because he's so enthusiastic about it and he loves it so much. And so, the thing about it is the short content is just a way to get people to, if you can introduce yourself to people in that 1 minute time. And you can introduce what your I'm about storytelling, about writing, about things like that. And so if I can get that across to people, and get them on board with me, then the world's your oyster. Your channel's is going to grow. Maybe not as much as the algorithm, chasers who like, sure, that's what's hot right now and jump on it. But at the end of the day, the people that will come onto your channel are there for you. They're not there for the subject that you just covered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what's Friday Night Tights? You might know one or two people on Friday Night Tights, and the rest is kind of like homogenous.
Yeah.
Gary. Probably the Geeks and Gamers guys. You might know Ass from Heels versus Babyface when he's on there. But it's pretty homogenous otherwise than that.
Yeah.
But, you just want to be like a personality that people are going to like say, hey, I like that bunny guy, or I like that Frost guy, or, I like the cut of their jib, so.
Right.
One thing about the debates that I admire you for is, you never lose who you are in that debate.
Appreciate that.
And I think that's the reason why you've been able to have the conversations that you've had, because some of the people that bring people on and it's like gotcha, it's all gotcha stuff,
I haven't watched it yet, but to that same point, apparently some of the people in Katie Did's chat were upset with me. I haven't watched hers yet because it's just a restream of a stream that I've already seen for 5 hours. So but they were apparently not very happy with me because I wasn't like calling out the stuff that Tim was wrong about. But like, it's not my job to call out Tim. Like, I'm just there to make, like, I told Tim and I told BA, I said, I'm just basically here to make sure that you don't start screaming slurs at each other to like cancel my channel. And then beyond that, like, it's between you guys. I'll try and refocus where I can. But that's about it. I'm not going to play favorites or, because that's the thing, right? I have opinions, but like, it's not about my opinions. It's about the two people who are on the channel. And I want to be as gracious as I can be to them.
Well, but that comes across. And because of that, you'll be able to talk to people that, I probably wouldn't be able to talk to, because I have pretty definitive opinions about everything. And people kind of like it. you know, I've closed some doors. I've like burned some bridges, you know, with my opinions. And there's something to be said about that guy can be a neutral party.
I appreciate
I
that,
like
man.
to think. Well, yeah, there's definitely a place for that. But you know, what I want to see people is I want to see people like you grow. I want to see people like you know, Immortal Rising, you know, or the Bad Ruth channel. You know, I want to see these people grow because, you know, I believe in what they're trying to do, and I believe in where their heart is. You know.
Yeah.
But, you know, if we all get big, we'll probably get to where we lose our way, you know, like some of the bigger channels seem to have. Let's face it, you know, you really don't know what you're going to be seeing when you get on or what's their channels anymore. You know, so, oh, okay, who are they destroying today? You know,
right.
Which friend are they going to like roast today? You know, ex-friend. Something like that.
Yeah, I know what you
so
mean.
after a while, yeah. But I think long form content kind of peaked about 3 or 4 years ago, and I really think that the future is going to be the short content. You know, not just chopped up big pieces, but of bigger pieces, but shorter content that's actually legitimately compact. And it is what it is, you know. And
I just hope that we can find a way, because what I think we really need to do is find a way to take that and build fans of like our stuff, right? Like, yeah, that's one of the things that I've been working on a video, and I'm hopefully going to have it out in the next couple of days. But just to briefly touch on it, it was a conversation that you actually started and you were having on your channel where you're talking about, again, kind of like what's next. And you were talking about like indie media, and it kind of veered off back and forth into mainstream. And I think the key is that, like, if we keep going back to mainstream and talking about mainstream or complaining about it, like we're not building fans of our own stuff. Like if they just are coming to us because like you're funny when you complain about like the X-Men comics, but that doesn't mean that they're going to want to read your book or read your comic book or whatever, right? So it's really about like, how do we make people fans of us as a personality and or our stuff, so that they keep coming back for that. Because they can go to or they can go to whoever's on that panel for the Friday night thing. They can go to that and they can hear complaining about whatever the new thing is that everyone's complaining about, right?
Right.
But like, if they can only get like the shorts that you're putting out, or they can only get like, you know, you can't get Silence Too Good from anyone other than Sean Salter, right? You can't get community service from anyone but you. You can't get Merkmaid from anyone but Pixel Trader and his team, right? So like, that's what we want people to attach themselves to. We want to build fans of that, so they keep coming back for that, and not just people who are disgruntled and angry about like Spider-Man comics or something.
Yep.
Right. Well, I like the cut of your jibber jabber. I just saw that.
That was great. Yeah.
Slip that in on us. You're all dead to me when I hit 500 subs. Okay, good to know. Good to know. I think I'm closer than you onto that. But anyway, but yeah, you're Wookiees has a point here. Absolutely create your own world of IPs and fans of the creators. Right. That one of the things that bother me about that ecosystem that, you know, is built up around the nerd products, the geeks and gamers, the thinking criticals, is they're all like pushing the same like product, this one creator's products, and it's like the guy is already huge, you know. It's just like, you know, there's other people out there that could use a boost, you know, that have merch that you could buy that would absolutely make a difference in their bottom line, you know. And yet, you know, you're these massive conglomerates that are claiming to be all about the fans, and yet you have these massive meet and greets where everybody comes through these lines and says hello to you and everything, and it's like, at the end of the day, how are you any different? You know what I'm saying?
And it is kind of weird to see. I don't know. It's like Disney, and they're you're already like you're watching a Disney stream, I don't know, and like then you see like they put up an ad for Universal, and it's like okay. I mean, I knew Universal existed already, but I mean, I guess thanks for the shout out, Disney. It's kind of like that almost. It's funny,
right? Yeah, exactly. It's like there's it's like, okay, so we're gonna push somebody who's on our shows, rather than somebody who like could use the boost, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think short form content is basically, at least for now, I mean, the algorithms could change the we could go back to long form content, the next few years, depending on what they want to emphasize. But for right now, at this day, and it takes more work to do short form content because you got that compressed 1 minute that you got to get it all into. And
it's like when we were writing for Out of Obscurity. It's like, hey, tell a story. You
absolutely.
Have 6 pages,
Yeah. Of course, we all like.
Exactly.
It's
the whole elevator pitch thing and everything else. It's the same thing like when you write a trailer. You got to think of your content as a trailer when you're doing a short. And you've got, I mean, even if you make it less than 60 seconds, I mean, as long as you can get your point across in the amount of time that you have, that's all you need. Attention spans vary. Some people won't sit through 60 seconds. So, I mean, do what you can.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I mean, at the same time, so instead of like criticizing short form content, and I've had people like, I absolutely won't do shorts. I don't know. I'm not going to do that. But I see it as an opportunity. An opportunity. I mean, my people have asked me for my pitches. People have asked me, and I've given them a paragraph, and I'm bad at it. I'm really, really bad at it. Except here lately, I find that by doing these shorts and getting better at that it's helped me with my pitching. It's helped me with my marketing. It's helped me in a lot of ways. Coalesce as to what I'm trying to say and what my emphasis is going to be. And I say, if you're not doing shorts right now, and I'm not talking about chopping up smaller your live streams into smaller bits.
Yeah.
I'm talking about legitimately turning on the camera, hitting play, and coming up with a short, and that's not hard. That's not easy to do every day. And there's been days where I'm like, I just stare at the little red dot, it's like nothing's there, nothing's coming,
right.
But to make these shorts, I've also had to delve into other people's content. There's so many documentaries out there right now from people who are just completely amateur that are on the internet. That, I mean, there's some documentarians that are just really incredible. A guy that does comic book documentation. He's the one that learned Carl Barks and Wendy Penny and Richard Penny from. But he, he's really. I've watched several of his, and they've inspired several shorts of mine because stuff I didn't know about. But then I'll go and research it, make sure that everything's on the up and up. But it takes work to boil everything down to its bare essence. You have to know it.
Well, the most successful YouTubers, it's the same principle. They're going out and they're doing that work every day if they're editing or filming or whatever. So it's the same kind of discipline for, doing a short, like you said, stare at that red dot until you've got something to say or think of something to say. So it's like, it's the same. It's like a different, dedication, but it's still a dedication. It's really dedicating yourself to making sure that you actually continue to produce. That's a question. Good question from Jay Cherry.
Yeah.
I'll let you answer it because you've got more experience with shorts. But for me, the one that I had recently was only like 18 seconds. So I think you can really have any kind of length as long as it achieves the intended purpose of it.
Yeah, there's times where I'll just hit I'll just hit end, but as soon as I get to the end of it. So and sometimes that will be the whole minute. Sometimes I'll run out of time on the end of the minute to, it's just it depends on what you're trying to get across. So the small creators need to get together, learn to promote themselves and others, create networks of mutual promotion, brainstorming. Yeah. I'll definitely agree with that. Us cellar dwellers got to stick together, right?
Yes, of course.
Buy each other's merch,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, promote
anything I got on this show.
Well, do you have a Frost hat I can buy?
I do actually. I do, and you can find it on my link tree. So you can certainly buy a Frost hat. Certainly.
All right.
Hopefully I'm gonna have some logos and stuff once I get closer to that.
I gotta have a super guy. Make sure you got.
Oh yeah. I have a super guy hat. Don't worry. I have a super guy hat.
All right.
It's like the old, like super old guy on it. So yeah.
Yeah, I need a super old guy, definitely. Maybe do that portrait with the the flyaway.
That's a great idea, actually.
That's a great.
I should put that one up there.
Yeah, there you go. Like the buddy, have a super old guy. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Anyway,
oh man,
if you got you can create Teespring account, and if you got icons or things like that that are available to you that that don't have that much color complication, you can get a pretty decent Teespring, and so it's really easy. If I can do it, everybody can do it, I guess it's one of my covers for one of my,
well, I've done great at selling to people that I can corner personally and talk to them about buying hats until they buy one. So I've done really good with that. Friends and family, unprecedented success selling that.
Yeah. Well, you hit up friends and family. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'm shameless.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Hey. There you go. Hey, I got a brother who has two kids. Maybe I could hey, Merry Christmas, or Happy Birthday.
Yeah. So I use mine. I'm like, there you go. I gotta pay for these kids. I gotta fund this somehow. Like maybe if you want to buy a hat, like that, I work it in like that.
There you go. There you go.
It's whatever works.
All right. Well, thank you for coming by today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me on, as always.
Well, absolutely. Thank you, Pixel Trader, for showing up. Nice babe, right there with the guns.
That's the Indicron.
My internet's trying to kill on me, so I'll just have to. Right. I forgot about her. Yeah. So, you bringing Indicron back?
I'm considering it. Yeah, actually, I've had people submitting stuff still, and I really need to just turn off the forums temporarily, or whatever, and set the site's on hiatus or something. I don't know. I got to decide. I'd really like to keep it live and put some more time and stuff into it. It's just been between the day job and the kids, and then trying to do all this other work. I just don't have the time to maintain it, and it's unfortunate. But it served its purpose years ago. I think it could probably still do more for the community now, but it's just it was built as a prototype. It never really was meant to scale to the way it was, and it was just something I tried to keep up with for 5 years, and finally, without making any money, it was just eating all my time, and I said, okay, it's time to back off and let somebody else handle it. So like the Creator Go network site, that one does pretty much the same stuff or very similar stuff to what Indicron did. And it's still going strong. So I think that's probably where I should push people instead of just trying to limp along with Indicron. But Indicron does have some nice features. So I don't know, man. It's at this point, I'm not sure, but for now it's on hiatus.
Yep. I hear you. I hear you. Well, hopefully they'll come back pretty soon. And all right, let me play this short that I did the other day on the way out. So this is pretty much sums up where I think we are. So here we go.
Psychically, I'm very well
Y'all
endowed.
got on this boat for different reasons, but y'all come to the same place. So now I'm asking more of you than I have before. Maybe all. As sure as I know anything, I know this. They will try again. Maybe on another world, maybe on this very ground swept clean. A year from now, 10, they'll swing back to the belief that they can make people better. And I do not hold to that. So no more running. I aim to misbehave.
So yeah, social engineering, we don't hold to that around here. We aim to misbehave. So that's my philosophy going forward here. Anyway. So that's been Cooper for Telepathic Bunny Comics. Thank you for coming to the channel today. We'll see you same bunny time, same bunny channel down the next rabbit hole. So y'all have a good afternoon and follow the white rabbit. See you next time.
Thank you.